What is going on, my YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Omar Pineda, your Austin realtor with eXp Realty, and we are in the city of Georgetown, Texas today in one of my favorite communities in Georgetown, Oaks at San Gabriel, and you'll find out why towards the end of this video. And the builder we're looking at is Brightland Homes. Now, this home, this floor plan is a heavy hitter because it's going to check so many people's boxes. It has the primary and a secondary bedroom, which I like to call the guest bedroom on the first floor. It has a formal dining space on top of a casual dining space, 3-car garage just on the first floor alone. That in and of itself could be the home. But then on the second floor, you're going to have the game room, and I believe they actually did the option of having a media room as well that we're going to all see here in the next couple of minutes. Now, on a 2-story home, I know at this price point, my buyers want high vaulted ceilings. You want to be able to see below from the upstairs, and you're going to be able to get all that. This is like the breakfast nook area, the casual dining area on their floor plan. And look at that view. One thing about new construction is that you typically do not get mature trees, but in this case, for this specific lot, you have these 2 nice mature trees. That one thing to note that we'll see here towards the end of this video is that this property is kind of on a slope. So if you really want to use your backyard and you typically want it to be flat, that would be pretty difficult with this. As far as moving into it, you would have to do something after you moved in to get that, to be able to utilize your backyard. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So this is called the Dartmouth floor plan. It's starting at $599,000, but this one that we're looking at now is for sale at $759,000, at least at the time of the recording of this video. Again, 5 beds, 4 baths. It's over 3,000 square feet, almost close to 4,000 square feet, nearing there pretty much. 2-story home, 3-car garage. I believe, now that I think about it, they actually made this a 2-car garage because they added that extra bedroom. But you could definitely get a 3-car garage in this community from this builder if that is something that you really want. Let's see. Now we're standing in the owner's suite. You can see the nice tray ceilings up on the ceiling there, which is a nice little upgrade. And this would be your view. You get lots of natural sunlight, and just having the mature trees and the backyard, I think, is really lovely. Very peaceful. I definitely felt very at ease and peaceful here in this when I was recording. Now we're going to walk into the master bath, and this is definitely an upgrade too. I think the tub and the walk-in shower were all upgrades, if I remember correctly, from when I was speaking with the sales rep and looking at their floor plan here. Yeah, it's very, it's definitely a premium bathroom with the way they kind of set everything up. So you're going to have plenty of space, lots of storage. And I love when they usually see the shower and the tub next to each other, and especially in a lot of these new construction. But the tub is independent of the shower is to me, it's a very luxurious, high-end look and feel. I love the contrast between like the white and the black fixtures. Always nice that they do a seated area in the shower. That's not very typical. I would almost say that's an upgrade typically for most builders to add that. And this is a spec home, so this is a home as part of Brightland Homes inventory. So they kind of opted to just do certain upgrades already. Because they pay attention to what buyers want and are asking for, and they go ahead and include that in their inventory homes, which is a huge benefit to you, because typically all these upgrades cost money, and if you're buying this and building it from the ground up, you probably be paying for all that. But when they build these spec homes and they kind of sit for a while, then they just most of the time the builders will start reducing that price, and sometimes it gets to a price point where it's like you almost are getting the upgrade for free in some cases. And so this that's a minor note there. So here is the formal dining room area. It's kind of towards like the middle of the house. Again, these are high ceilings, not just high vaulted ceilings in the living space, but high ceilings all on the first floor. If I had to take a guess, I want to say they're at least 10 foot, maybe even 12 foot height in from with the ceiling, which is an upgrade. Having high ceilings like that is definitely a luxury item and an upgrade for, I would say, mostly all builders. So here is the home office. Home office. I think I said bedroom earlier, but no, there's a bedroom and a home office on the first floor. Yes. A home office and a secondary bedroom on the first floor. So again, you have the formal dining. You have this beautiful home office that they did in the front. I love when builders do that. Most buyers I deal with, they want if they're working from home, they want the office towards the front half of the home so they can see and have a view of like the street, not so much the side. That I've seen most builders do when they build the office on the side. Most builders don't want to see their neighbor's wall. You get what I mean? So here is the secondary bedroom that would be ideal for your guests or grandparents, anybody who has trouble with stairs, and just to have that separation, right? And again, we're towards the front half of the house, so the primary bedroom was towards the back end of the house, so you're gonna have that separation, and that's always very, very nice for noise and privacy. So this bedroom will have a nice ensuite bathroom, which is a full bathroom with the shower and the sink area. That's very, very close. Not in the bedroom, but very nearby. That's what kind of like ensuite. That's what we say, at least. And here we're going to be going, I think, to the garage first or upstairs. I forget. No, we're going to be going to the garage first. Okay, so through the garage, we're going to be passing the utility room where you're going to find the washer and dryer. Typically, I know my buyers look for either cabinetry or some type of table setup before to add to the laundry room, because you need some type of flat surface to fold laundry. So that's something you could think about. And because this home is near 4,000 square feet, and I think I said 3 or 4 bathrooms, you're gonna have two 50-gallon water heaters. That black thing there is a tie-in for the water softener. Yeah, water softening loop. And then that device there on the far left was that's the controls for the irrigation for the front and back. Again, this is a nice completed garage with the garage door opener. It's at that kind of like extra storage right there. That's where the third car garage would have gone, but they instead opted to do that study. So again, I love when builders complete the stairs underneath as for more storage. I've walked a couple of resale, so not new construction homes in the Austin area, and this is always left unfinished. So it's nice that they have that, so you can actually store stuff and it not get super dirty or dusty, because it's a finished space. Okay, that was just the first floor, and we're already almost 8 minutes into the video. That's just the first floor alone. Upstairs, we're going to be finding 3 more bedrooms and a game room and a media room. So this home has almost all the boxes checked for what a lot of buyers are looking for, and that's a good thing, because when it comes to resale value, you want a home that a lot of buyers are searching for, and just having that primary and secondary bedroom on the first floor, a game room on top of a media room on the second floor is all big pluses, all good things. So this is the game room, again, high ceilings, and then we're going to be going to the media room here in a second. So some quick little facts about the community. We have a 2.33% tax rate. Not my favorite tax rate. I always like to be at 2% or less, but for what you get, because you get all the amenities. You get the pool, you get the playground, you get the trails, and this community hugs this, I think, protected park or preserve area that's owned by the city, if I'm not mistaken, and that's never going to change, and that's going to be like right just within a few minutes of this community. You can almost walk there. I want to say it's almost connected in some way, and we're going to see what that looks like towards the end of this video when we look at the drone shot. So this community does belong to the Liberty Hill ISD, even though you will have a Georgetown address, which is a huge plus. That's I think a big draw to this community as well, because Liberty Hill is very, very well known for their top school districts, and that was a big draw for a lot of people, for the demand, a lot of people moving in the area. So Liberty Hill ISD, I would say this is an amenity-rich community. We're going to see here in a second towards the end of the video with the drone shot. And again, Brightland Homes is offering some pretty amazing financial incentives. So we can either help buy down the interest rate, maybe pay for some closing costs, or figure out, just depending on what your financial needs are, we can definitely try to accommodate you, and that's where I come in with the negotiating to see how we can make come up with a strategy to ask for what we want from the builder, and that way the builder everything kind of moves forward, right? Because we don't want a whole bunch of back and forth and negotiating, because we want to present a solid offer that makes sense. That way the builder is just more open to communicating in that sense. Because if you just drop a really low ball offer and you're asking for all this on the back end, then that's when things can get very, very messy very quickly. So let's see, upstairs we have one, not two, but 3 bedrooms, and they all have a walk-in closet, because again, this is almost 4,000 square feet of living space. So if you have a big family, they all have a bunch of stuff. Everybody is getting a walk-in closet, so that's going to be very, very nice. So this is definitely, I would describe this home as like an entertainer's home, because you have the game room, the media room, you have downstairs the formal dining and the casual dining space. So this home is going to require a lot of furniture. So if that's something else to consider, because this home is already at a pretty hefty price point. I think it was in the mid 700s. So add that on top of that, more furniture, then you can see how this quickly kind of adds up. So here is the other bedroom. I think this was the second or third one upstairs before we head downstairs and check out that backyard. And you can see the beautiful mature trees and just how much of a slope the backyard is. So if you have small children or a dog, maybe mostly for the small children, that's just something to make a note of. That's always something fixable. Ooh, before I forget, I believe this was a natural gas community, and if you with propane, I want to say it's electric. Now I gotta look back because it's gonna bug me. Hang on, let me just double check to make sure that when we look at the kitchen, yeah. So this is electric community, but if you want natural gas, then you can buy a propane tank, bury it, and then have natural gas. And from the salesperson I was speaking to, that is kind of a thing that people do in this community if you want natural gas. So you can have the best of all worlds, and it's possible. And I do have a point of contact that you can get, so you can get a quote and everything. So here now we're going to the backyard, and this is a huge, I would say, call it a Texas size covered back patio, which is nice. You're going to want some type of shade, especially during the summer months, because it does get hot and humid here. So you're going to have shade from the covered back patio. You're going to have shade from these nice mature trees. So to me, that's a win-win. If you're not planning on utilizing your backyard a lot, and you just really get to enjoy the scenery with the trees. So that let's here in a second. We're gonna walk downstairs so you can see what that looks like. And again, you're not gonna have any backyard neighbors here. This is a prime location for a lot, because that is that private reserve, or it's a space, it's a green space that's not going to change. That's where you can have, like, I think the lady was saying, like 7 or 10 plus miles of walking trails, and it's just beautiful green lush scenery. So here you can kind of grasp the slope here. So just something to consider. You can see how much concrete they used to level the foundation, so that gives you an idea of how much of a slope there is. And again, I thought it was very beautiful, having nice mature trees already. I wonder if you could do a tree house here, because these trees are protected by the city. So I'm pretty sure you couldn't do that, but that would, one can wish. One can wish. So let's see. So check it out. Look how this would be your backyard, and you can see that there's some trails back there. How lush and green everything is, and that is the San Gabriel River, not too far off. And again, look at these amenities. You're gonna have that pool. You're gonna have a kids playground. Those are retention ponds in the background there. That's meant for drainage, and if it gets flood, because it does rain pretty hard here in Austin during the winter months. And I have seen people fish there at one point. Let me know in the comments. I asked, and the salesperson said that they don't keep it stocked, so it's not an official fishing pond, but I saw people fishing there at least one time when I toured this community. So I'm curious if you've ever fished there yourself. Let me know in the comments. You have a nice big open green space area that you could probably go with your dog or play any type of sports. So there's so much space here. I think the big draw here is that this area belongs to Liberty Hill ISD. It's very lush and green. So if you want to be within nature within a few minutes, then you definitely can do that. It has all the amenities that one could want in a new construction home. And it's in Georgetown. Georgetown is a very nice area. I think within the last 2 years, it was voted number one town square. It's definitely up and coming. There's a lot of people moving into Georgetown, and a lot of new construction happening in Georgetown. So that's all good. And it shows you the type of momentum that the city has, right, in terms of residential development and commercial. So let me come here. This is my nice map that shows me. I keep track of as many builders as I visit in the Austin area. So I want to show you the schools and the builders. Okay, we were in Oaks at San Gabriel, which is off Highway 29. Let me zoom in here. So here's Georgetown, the downtown city square area, which is beautiful. I always like to take clients here, because even my own family when they're visiting, because this is just a pretty area. It's very walkable. You definitely get the small town vibes here. I mean, this is where the Williamson County Courthouse is, so it's very historic in that sense. And then you have the San Gabriel River that cuts through the city. Beautiful. There's a lot of construction happening with the bridge here, and they're actually building this huge parking structure. That's because there's so many events that happen in the city square, so almost any given weekend you're gonna have something to do. If it's not a farmer's market, it's something in that wheelhouse of that they're using the city square for. So lots of and that draws a lot of people from outside of Georgetown. So that's why they are building, like, I don't know, a 4 or 5 story garage that's going to have hundreds more parking spots, so to kind of alleviate some of that traffic, because I can see that being a pain point on the weekends when it gets extra busy. So from Georgetown, this is Wolf Ranch, another very famous and I think highly awarded community. They have several different communities, but still under the Wolf Ranch brand. So you're going to be very close to that. This community is kind of like in the middle. Oaks at San Gabriel. There's a few builders here. You have Brightland Homes, you have Braun Homes, and a few, I think 2 more builders. But Brightland Homes is a builder we looked at today, and you could just see you have this community, and then you're just surrounded by green space. And again, one huge draw is that you're going to be very close and next door to Cimarron Hills. Cimarron Hills is $1 million homes. They have a golf resort within the community, country club / golf resort. And so that all the homes in this area are like in the $1 million range. And then I think the home here is going to be like in the low 800s, if I remember correctly. And so that's great for resale value, and just to know that the area is going to stay high in value over the years, right? But you are off Highway 29. Highway 29 is a little bit iffy in the sense that then it just needs more stoplights, right? Because people go pretty fast here. But that's one huge perk of this community, because it's one of the few, because everything that you see here in orange, these are all new construction builders are building, right? And not every community has a dedicated street light. So if you're pulling out, if you're going left or right off Highway 29, you're going to have to really book it to avoid traffic, because people are going pretty fast here. But in this community, there is a dedicated street light, which is a huge draw. And you'll see what I mean when we tour this community together, because that is going to make all the difference, especially if you have a lot of anxiety to go really fast and peel out almost. So this is kind of right in the middle, and that's important because you're going to be very close to this HEB over here in Leander, and they have an HEB over here in Georgetown, which is super nice. I love having options like that if for all those little conveniences, right? Because if it's a little bit traffic going in that direction, and you have your backup over here, right? And again, you see how close we are, kind of more towards Liberty Hill, and that would make a little bit more sense as to why this community pertains or belongs to some of the schools here in Liberty Hill, which again is a huge draw to the community. So that's very good for resale value, because you want to be nearby really good schools. So let's see, off Highway 29, you can see how many builders are in the area. So if this home is sold by the time you're watching this video, or you're looking for something else, maybe something a little bit more affordable, there are builders here that we can get you in a home in the 3 or 4s. in this area, and you can't really tell because this is a 2D, but everything south of Highway 29, like all these homes in this area, this is hill country. Beautiful hill country. And then at the base you have the San Gabriel River, and you have a lot of these communities, you have direct access to the lake, to the river, and there are walking trails. And I want to even say and go out on a limb here that eventually all these communities will kind of connect, especially as it's hugging the river, so you can almost bike it or walk it, and just be connected with nature. I think that's one huge draw. That's one reason why I love this area so much, because it's beautiful. So if that's something that you think would really check a lot of the boxes, then I encourage you to reach out to me. I have all my information linked in that description, so you can call or text or hit me up on the phone call. I do pick up my phone, but just know that it'll be a very, very quick call, because I like to steer everybody to that discovery call, that online virtual consultation, so we can really dive deep into your situation. I like to share my screen so you can see a little bit more. We can dive deeper into the numbers. We can really it's a discovery call, because I'm going to ask you a million questions on what your criteria is, figure out your lifestyle, so I can figure out the best community for you, where you work, what's important to you, as far as, do you want to be close to work, do you want to I usually kind of say it like this: it's either location, price, or floor plan. Those are the three things that when it's all said and done, when you're buying a home, what it boils down to, really. And you can only pick two. Which two are the most important to you? Price, location, or floor plan? Because I can get you two out of the three. And if you want all three, then the only way to get all three is to just throw money at the problem, right? Because if price point, I can get you anything. But typically my buyers are more cognizant, and they care more about the floor plan and the price point. The location, they have a little bit more leeway, as far as, if they have to commute a little bit more. But that price point and the community is super important to them. And I could definitely find all that, because as you can see, I definitely have a pulse on the new construction space here in Austin area, and you would be in very good hands. And on top of all that, I stay up to date with all the financial incentives. There is a strategy with the financial incentives. It's not just about the lowest interest rate, and we can definitely talk about that more in greater detail during our consultation, because that would be take up too much time for this video, and we're already at 22 minutes long. So I'm gonna wrap things up for this video. Smash that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to keep up with all things new construction, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.